Hello everyone, you are watching the latest episode of Pretty Shitty Pickups. This is episode number 7, and I guess you know who I am by now, so I say we get down to the latest Shetty Pickups from yours truly. Unfortunately for myself and for this series, I haven't been able to go to any of my local swap meets like I usually tend to do to collect more stuff for this series. However, since the last episode, I have picked up 5 new items, and the following items would be these, starting off with first a game for the Nintendo DS. This game would be The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, as you can see right there, and it's a very great game so far from what I've played. It's a first touch-based game that I've really become a fan of because I tend to dislike touch-based games on the Nintendo DS. However, this is pretty awesome, and it's definitely one of my favorite games that I've played for the Nintendo DS up to this point. Unfortunately for me and for this series, Spirit Tracks is the only game I managed to pick up since the last episode of Pretty Shitty Pickups, although I can't say the same for console accessories. For example, I happened to buy this memory card from Mad Catz for a Nintendo GameCube. I don't actually have a Nintendo GameCube yet, however I'm saving it for the future when I do buy a GameCube, because I've been planning for quite a few months now to buy a GameCube. So when I actually happen to buy that GameCube, you bet you will see it on an episode of Pretty Shitty Pickups in the future. However, it turns out that I lied. Spirit Tracks is not the only game I bought since the last episode of Pretty Shitty Pickups, because I also happen to pick up a title known as Streets of Rage 2 for the Genesis. As you can see, it's in its box, and it's fantastic because if you open it, you can see that the cartridge itself looks almost brand new. I'll have you take a look here. As you can see, little to no damage to the cartridge whatsoever. Definitely a great buy because I've seen gameplay footage of this game in YouTube, and I've had people tell me that the Streets of Rage games are fantastic games, and judging by the footage I've watched of the games up to this point, they really look like fun games, and I'm really looking forward to sitting down and playing some Streets of Rage 2. I also happen to pick up a second 6-button gamepad for my Sega Genesis. I've already reviewed this gamepad in the past on one of my earlier videos on this channel, so you might want to check that out in case you haven't already, and if you don't, as always, that's fine with me. But 6-button gamepad, a second one, and it's awesome to have it in case I get some fighting games for my Sega Genesis. And even if I don't, the 6-button gamepad is a fantastic controller and one that I really enjoy using. As for the last item that I will be showing off in this episode of Pretty Shitty Pickups, I'm happy to say that this item happens to be a video game console, although basically one that I already own in the form of my Sega Genesis Model 3. However, this is not the Model 3, but the Sega Genesis Model 1. And as you can see, it's in fantastic shape. It has a few scratches here and there, but no heavy damage on it whatsoever. It works. I didn't buy it with any of its cables, so you know that's a bad thing. However, I will try to get the cables sometime in the future, and until I do, I'll have this kept away in a safe place where it doesn't get full of dust and where it doesn't get bumped into anything. So you know, proud to own a Sega Genesis Model 1, glad to have it. All in all, though, that makes up this entire episode of Pretty Shitty Pickups, and as always, I thank you for watching. I am your channel host, Juanito Shet, and I will see you here next time, whenever that may be.